Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for joining me here. My name is Christopher Schrader. I'm the president of the Meteorological Research and Education Organization, and you are tuned in to the DisasterCon Launch Party 2021. So the DisasterCon is a program that we've been working on for a while now, and by we I do mean the Meteorological Research and Education Organization, or MERIO. And just to kind of give more information out on what we do, who we are, what we've done, we're going to be giving this presentation out for you guys to be able to witness our history being made. 2020 is becoming a very historic year in a lot of areas of the world, and 2020 is a historic year for Rio. So before we really get into DisasterCon, we're going to get into what is the Meteorological Research and Education Organization. That'll be probably the last time you'll hear me say our full name. We refer to our company as MERIO. It's M-E-R, MER, and then the letter E, and then the letter O. MERIO is the abbreviation for the company because trying to say the Meteorological Research and Education Organization on every sentence is quite tasking. A little bit about myself. My name is Christopher Schrader. I'm president of the Meteorological Research and Education Organization, as we've already stated. Hold on, I'm getting this thing to work right. There we go. I am a Skywarn instructor, a CERT instructor. I'm the lead instructor for MERIO. I've studied weather for 20 years, and I'm dedicated to teach others better preparedness actions for all hazards of disasters. I have been teaching weather for about 8 years, but like I said, studied weather for 20. I am only 28 years old, so I've got a lot of years of weather involved just in my everyday life. The picture up here at the top, this is one of our programs that we work with the schools. This one's actually in School in the Woods in Black Forest, Colorado. And we teach, this class we were teaching why Colorado weather is different than weather from around the world. And then this bottom picture here is from our ham radio technician course. This was our first teaching of the ham radio course. And now we have been teaching that ever since there. We'll talk a little more about what our courses were here in just a moment. Let's go before the beginning. Before we became MERIO, we were the USSC, the United States Storm Chasers, which started in Simla, Colorado, and there are 5 youth spotters with a dream coming up with this program. The United States Storm Chasers pretty much was a bunch of us that were in Simla, and we wanted to spot the weather and study the weather quite a bit more than what we were actually set up for. And so we would go to the edge of town, which was only a mile wide by a mile wide. So it wouldn't take us very long to get to the edge of town on our bicycles. And we would watch the storms go right past our town. And we would document it by photographing, videography, and we also had weather stations that we would run all the information off of. That we're more just gathering info. At the same time, a lot of us were starting to set up with the National Weather Service to become a Skywarn spotter. At that point, it wasn't really Skywarn, it was Basic Spotter, and that program is what turns into the Skywarn program that we know of today. After we really discovered that the USSC was just a storm chasing group, we wanted to expand. So the original 5 from the USSC decided that we need more in research and education of weather. So we dedicated a nonprofit concept, and we started up the nonprofit MERIO. We started our courses in Simla, Colorado, of all places. We were just starting our own backyard, and we started teaching weather preparedness courses. Our very first one was thunderstorm preparedness and what to do when lightning strikes. We did this starting in November of 2013, and that was our first point of the year that we began. In our first year of operation, we also began the Skywarn courses, had a partnership with MetEd, which we still have today, teaching the Skywarn courses from their online in an in-person type classroom so that individuals who had difficulty just looking at it online and learning it online had the capability of asking questions in a classroom setting. We expanded our classes from Simla, Colorado, and moved to Lyman and Colorado Springs. So we had the entire stretch of Highway 24 between El Paso County, Elbert County, and Lincoln County. We were setting up that system. We also launched our first ever research team. And the research team was our storm chasing group. We moved out into the field and we actually would go out and research the storm. A little more in depth than what we did as the USSC member. We would actually have weather stations with us in the field. In 2014, we also received our 501c3 status, which put us into the nonprofit dedication that we have. In our third year, 2016, we ended up changing our approach to what we were teaching. We restructured to the disaster preparedness and weather research. This way, we discovered in our first 3 years that we weren't really teaching weather preparedness. We were teaching people to prepare for specific disasters. We ended up including more programs like the ham radio technician class that I spoke to a little bit ago. That class was part of our disaster preparedness. Ham radio is actually the best communication system that you can use when all else fails, because they don't rely on external power. You can use ham radio on a handheld all the way up to a base radio. In fact, there's quite a few radios that will not even need to be affected during a solar flare or an electromagnetic pulse. Old tube radios are still very much in use in the ham radio community, where other technologies such as our cell phones and our entire internet grid that we have set up would be severely affected if an EMP went through and destroyed the equipment. The amateur radio operators can step up the old tube radios and they can still operate even during that time frame. In 2016, we also opened the Colorado Springs branch of Murillo. So we still have our Simla branch, but we've expanded into Colorado Springs because we were planning on doing a different move in the next few years from 2016, and we needed another base of operations to work from. Murillo in 2018, or our 5th year, expanded into Teller County, which is one of the reasons why we had to put a branch here in Colorado Springs, because now we're going the other direction on 24. We were getting into Woodland Park, Cascade, Green Mountain Falls. So we now are in 4 Colorado counties, which is Teller County, El Paso, Elbert, and Lincoln for our actual teaching for our programs. We also started a new program with El Paso County CERT, or what was called El Paso County CERT. We called it the Neighborhood Net. They are now the Pikes Peak Regional Operations of Emergency Management CERT, PPROEM. And for that office, we're still with them. We still have this program, the Neighborhood Net, running. The Neighborhood Net utilizes the ham radio and non-ham radio operators to be able to create a tree-like network going from the coalition, which is Murillo and a couple other members in the county, all the way out to the individual members in society, the communities, the neighborhoods that we have all throughout El Paso County. This allows people to connect in when all else fails. When we can't be able to get information out by cell phone or by internet, the Neighborhood Net can still pass information to and from during the time of an emergency. Last year, in 2019, we started our plans for DisasterCon 2021, and we expanded our Neighborhood Net for the entire county-wide. When we first started Neighborhood Net, it was just for the city of Colorado Springs, and expansion grew into the entire county. And we are still working on some sections of the county to get more of the communication skills set up for there. This year, we're still operating our Neighborhood Net regularly, and today you're with us for history for launching DisasterCon. We are really, really happy with what's been going on so far in 2020 for our organization, even with the pandemic of COVID going through and affecting a lot of our everyday lives. Murillo was already set up to be operating as a internet-based or a at-home-based type So a lot of our everyday operations actually did not get affected by COVID as much as some people's. And of course, in the future, we want to be able to have DisasterCon every year, starting in 2021 and keep on going. We really want to have DisasterCon here in Colorado Springs with our wonderful partnership at Hotel Elegante. Oops, I let something slip already, guys. But you guys already knew about Hotel Elegante. But our wonderful partners at Hotel Elegante to be able to keep this conference here in Colorado Springs. Also in 2021, we're relaunching our old program of Field Day. For those who are not familiar with Field Day is an amateur radio event that is on the 4th weekend of June every year. This is an operation where we can be able to take our amateur radio equipment out to the public and show what we can be able to do in times of a disaster. Most Field Day operations are literally set up in a field, running off of solar panels or car alternators or generators to be able to give power to the radio system. Some field days even run on just straight battery where there is no alternative source that they have. They just have the bank of batteries to keep their systems running. By the end of 2022, we are hoping that the Neighborhood Net program will actually be operating statewide. And of course, beyond 2022, we want to see all of our programs expand and DisasterCon, of course, to continue on. One of the things that we get asked for on our logo is why we have so much in there. The main thing is Mario is there to observe, to report, and to educate. And all three of them are in our logo to show what we do. Now, on to what you guys have all been waiting for. DisasterCon 2021, the launch. The very first thing that I'd like to give to you guys is the logo, because this is going to be what you guys will reference to every time you see DisasterCon. We have been keeping this very quiet for the last couple weeks, and you are now going to see for the very first time DisasterCon. Are you prepared? This is our way of showing multiple points to what we're working with. For first, we have our lightning for our disasters, thunderstorms, disasters, weather related. Our communication platforms, we want to make sure that we communicate as much as we can across the country. And of course, in between the country and here in Colorado Springs, we have our wonderful mountains here in the area. So we wanted to refer to all of those in our logo here. This is now the DisasterCon official logo. And in 8 minutes, you guys will be seeing that on our website and our tickets as well, because we are almost ready for the launch. Our entire page will be launching at 5 o'clock tonight. So we're almost there. DisasterCon is split up into 3 primary sections throughout the event. Our first one is our public day. Our public day is literally for the public. Anybody and everybody in the area is welcome to come to our public day. That'll be on Friday, February 5th at 9 a.m. And again, all these dates are in 2021. We then continue on the same day in the afternoon, our Storm Chasers section of DisasterCon. For those of you who were a part of the old conference, ChaserCon, what a wonderful conference that was. We had to say goodbye to that conference here in 2020. And this is one of the reasons why we are setting up DisasterCon in 2021. Not to replace ChaserCon, but to turn the chapter and continue the story for a safe area for storm chasers to be able to attend. Our disaster preparedness portion of the conference will begin on Monday, February 8th at 7 a.m. So our storm chasers will have 3 days, and our disaster preparedness will also have 3 days for the conference. Some noteworthy events to really stay tuned to is we're going to have special guest vehicles come on our public day. One of the vehicles will be the TIV. For anyone who remembers the TIV from the TV show Storm Chasers from Discovery Channel, we will have them. And a few other vehicles are going to be coming as well. But instead of spoiling all the surprise here on the launch, we're going to leave a lot of surprises that you guys can be able to tune into on our website as we go through, like our special guest speakers. When you go to our website, you can click on the speakers icon at the top of the page, and it will show you different speakers that we have that are coming to the conference. As each of them gives the teaching on what, or the title on what their teaching is going to be, we will then post them on our website consistently. So make sure that you get onto our website regularly so you can be able to see all these different changes. We're also going to do like a ham radio swap meet during the open day. For anybody who's familiar here in the Colorado Springs area, we have an event every July called MegaFest. This is a ham radio swap meet here in Colorado Springs, designed for people who have ham radio equipment or others that are in that kind of hobby to come over and have a great place to be able to sell off old equipment, or for new amateur radio operators who don't have the finances to buy brand new, nice $10,000 radios, they can be able to go to a swap meet like this and get good radios at a significantly discounted rate. Also, we're doing a video night for the Storm Chasers. This, of course, is during the Storm Chasers section. We are also doing the pandemic preparedness during disaster prep. So if anybody who has been affected by the pandemic that we just went through here in the entire United States and around the world, we can be able to bring in more of a preparedness structure for if and when this kind of concept would happen again. Another thing that we're working on, we didn't put in a slide, but we were working on the concept. If football season gets to go back up and running, and they do hold the Super Bowl on February 7th, we will have a Super Bowl party for anybody who is a part of our conference as well. So keep that in mind for all you football fans out there. Tickets will be going on sale in 3 minutes from this recording. So want to talk about our prices. Our full conference, which is 6 days long, is $250 per participant. This, of course, includes both the Storm Chaser section and the Disaster Preparedness section, along with the admission to the open day as well. So you can be able to come and enjoy the entire conference from start to finish, all in one charge. There is no additional charges for these conference tickets. Everything that's for the conference, everything that is for the conference is included in this price, including a t-shirt here at our conference as well. The disaster preparedness section, the Storm Chaser section, let me go in order here, is only going to be 3 days long, and that's going to be $145 for the Storm Chasers part. If you want to come just for the disaster preparedness, that's also just 3 days long, and it's, again, $145. If you are local in Colorado Springs or pretty much anywhere within driving distance of Colorado Springs, and you want to come to our open day, it's $5 per person admission to go to our open day conference. The online conference, we will be putting on sale on the first day of the conference, and it will be run through a webinar concept so you can be able to see the conference. Full conference access to the main room teachings will be live, and then one of our breakout session rooms will also be on that conference access. Q&A sessions will also be accessible throughout the conference. When our presenters are up on the stage, you can write questions through the online portal, and one of our Murillo staff members will be asking the question for you in the actual room. The cost for this is going to be $49.95. This will be for all 6 days total. You do not have to do any additional cost for each section. If you purchase it for the Storm Chaser conference, you still have access for it for the disaster preparedness. So you can be able to go to both events at the same point. If you are purchasing a Storm Chaser ticket to be there live on the Storm Chaser side, and you want to view the disaster preparedness ticket online, you'll still have to pay the $49.95 for those 3 days for the disaster preparedness as well. And before we continue on, want to put on here that it is now 5 p.m. local time, and everything just launched. Our website, our ticket sales, everything is now live. So when we get to the end of this presentation, you'll be able to see our website links and QR codes for you to be able to scan right here on your computer screen for your phone, or click on the links on the comments to be able to actually go to our new websites. And there it goes. DisasterCon is actually a part of our annual fundraiser event for Murillo. 100% of all donations will go to Murillo to keep teaching classes and for operating the expansions of our program. You can donate pretty simply. You can donate online 24/7 until the last day of the conference. We will have that page up here on tomorrow. We will actually have that all set up on our website and also on Murillo's website, and you can be able to access that until the last day of the conference. We'll also have in-person silent auctions on the open day and the conference. The silent auctions are going to be set up where people who have items can donate, and then we can be able to put them in there for you guys to bid on, and the winner can be able to take home some wonderful items. Also, sponsorships for the conference. We're starting our sponsorship program at $1,000. Anybody who would like to become a sponsor, you can either be an individual or a company. Going to that website that we just launched, you can be able to go to the sponsors section, and it will tell you breakdown of all the sponsorship packets available and what each one of them will be have the incentives for. Different incentives for higher amounts of money as they go. So please be sure to check that out as well. Did someone say free? That's right. We're giving away one free DisasterCon ticket here for the launch of DisasterCon. In order to do this, though, you need to go to our website. It's DisasterCon.us and register for our monthly newsletter. On Friday, June 12th at 5 p.m., we will randomly pick one person from the newsletter to receive their free ticket to DisasterCon. The ticket type is going to be one 6-day-long full conference ticket. It's valued at $250, not redeemable for cash. Part of the fine print, since we do have audio people here not able to read it, we're going to go ahead and read this for you. The winner will be sent an email. Winner will have 48 hours to respond, and a voucher code will be sent to the winner via email. Ticket is not redeemable for cash. Winner code is non-transferable. If winner does not respond in 48 hours, no follow-up winner will be chosen. No purchase is necessary to enter. Murillo staff and family are not eligible to win. Entrants have until 16:59, June 12, 2020, Mountain Time, to enter. Only one entry per person allowed. Winner will then be announced on our first DisasterCon newsletter on June 15th and posted on our Facebook page. You can follow that at DisasterCon. So we have a few moments here. Are there any questions for me? We've got some people in the chat. If there's anybody that's on the audio, please feel free to go ahead and ask a question. Send them to me. We'll give you just a couple of minutes. I know that this is a big program for us, and we want to make sure that everybody here has their questions answered. So go ahead and send me some questions. If you guys have any further questions that you want to ask, please feel free to email them to us. It's disastercon@murillowx.org. And one of us on our team will be more than happy to be able to respond to your email and get any questions that you guys have answered. So just a quick recap here. Our main programs that we have for Murillo is DisasterCon. We also have an amateur radio club that we run with Murillo, and of course the neighborhood net that I was discussing just a little bit ago. These are our primary programs that we operate under the Murillo umbrella. And if you're interested in any of them, please go to our website. Speaking of which, look at our websites. We have our DisasterCon.us. Anything you need to know about DisasterCon, go right there to that website, and we can be able to get that set up for you. Also, mariowx.org is the main company's website, our main organization's website. Our organization, again, is a 501c3 nonprofit, and we rely on people's support and donations in order to be able to be successful. So I'm going to leave that on the screen here for a little bit. Thank you guys again so much for attending. For those who watched this on the recorded version, you guys can also be a part of that, the free ticket as well coming up, because we have 1 week for our drawing. So get your emails registered onto our newsletter, and we can be able to get you guys a free ticket to DisasterCon. Thank you guys again so much for joining me. My name's Christopher. I really hope to see you guys coming up here in 2021. And if you guys have anything for us, like maybe you want to be a speaker for the conference, shoot us an email. We have the speaker application already up as well on our Mario website. So join us, become a speaker, and we can be able to enjoy a wonderful conference coming up here in 2021 in beautiful Colorado Springs at Hotel Elegante. Have a great night, everybody, and thank you guys so much for joining me.